When you step back and create distance, something profound begins to happen. The space you create isn't just physical, it's emotional, mental, and even spiritual. People tend to underestimate the power of absence, mistakenly believing that constant availability is the key to maintaining relationships or staying in someone's thoughts. But the truth is, when you're always there, your presence becomes predictable. And what's predictable often gets overlooked. The mind craves novelty, mystery, and the challenge of pursuing what feels just out of reach. When you remove yourself from the equation, even subtly, you give someone the opportunity to miss you. Absence speaks in ways words never could. It sends a message that's both subtle and profound. I am whole on my own. This silent statement has a magnetic pull. It's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about understanding human psychology. People value what they believe they could lose. The things that are always present, always accessible, often fade into the background. But when something or someone steps back, it creates a vacuum. And human nature rushes to fill that void with thoughts, emotions, and often longing. Consider how scarcity works in other areas of life. Rare items are more desirable than those that are abundant. Limited edition products, once sold out, suddenly become the most sought after items. Why? Because people naturally assign more value to what feels exclusive or hard to obtain. The same principle applies to relationships. When you create distance, you're not diminishing your worth, but amplifying it. You're reminding the other person that your presence is not a given, it's a privilege. This doesn't mean you have to disappear completely or ghost someone. It's not about neglecting the relationship. It's about creating a rhythm where your absence speaks louder than your presence ever could. People often confuse constant communication with connection, but true connection doesn't need to be tethered to constant interaction. When you step back, you allow space for the other person to reflect on what your presence truly means in their life. They begin to notice the little things they might have overlooked. The sound of your laughter, the way you light up a room, the way you make them feel seen and understood. These memories become magnified in your absence, creating a deeper appreciation for the moments you shared. Absence also shifts the balance of attention. When you're constantly present, you're always giving, always contributing energy to the connection. But when you step back, you create a scenario where the other person is now compelled to give their energy toward thinking about you. They begin to wonder where you are, what you're doing, and why they're suddenly feeling your absence so acutely. This mental and emotional shift draws them closer, even if you're miles apart. It's important to understand that absence doesn't mean withholding or being intentionally cold. It's about choosing to step into your own space, your own life, and your own growth. When you pour your energy into yourself instead of constantly pouring it into someone else, you create a dynamic where your life becomes a source of intrigue. People are naturally drawn to those who are thriving, who have passions, dreams, and a sense of purpose. Else, their absence becomes a reminder that your world doesn't revolve around them. And this realization is what creates that sense of longing. Think about it. When was the last time you missed someone who was always available? The people we miss the most are often those who knew how to create balance. Those who were present but also valued their own space and independence. When someone isn't constantly accessible, their presence takes on a special quality. They're no longer part of the background noise of daily life. They stand out because their absence creates a contrast. It's this contrast that heightens emotions and deepens feelings of appreciation. When you create distance, you also set a boundary that says, I value myself enough to give myself space. Boundaries aren't walls. They're guidelines that teach others how to treat you. When you're constantly available, you risk being taken for granted. But when you set a boundary, even if it's subtle, you teach others to respect your time and your energy. This respect often translates into admiration, and admiration creates desire. Another powerful aspect of absence is the way it shifts the narrative in someone's mind. People begin to idealize what they can't immediately have. They replay moments, conversations, and experiences, often romanticizing them in the process. Your absence allows the other person to focus on your positive traits rather than being caught up in the mundane or the occasional imperfections that might arise in daily interactions. It doesn't mean you're pretending to be perfect. It means you're giving them the space to focus on the parts of you that are most impactful. Creating distance isn't just about the other person, it's also about you. It's about reclaiming your energy, rediscovering your passions, and reconnecting with yourself. When you step back, you're not only giving the other person an opportunity to miss you, you're also giving yourself the opportunity to grow. The more you invest in your own life, the more magnetic you become. People are drawn to those who are self-assured, who have a sense of purpose, and who don't rely on others for validation. Absence also allows you to observe. When you take a step back, you can see how the other person responds. Do they reach out? Do they express that they miss you? Their reactions can reveal a lot about the strength and authenticity of the connection. Confidence is one of the most magnetic qualities a person can possess. It radiates from within, creating an aura that draws others in without effort or pretense. Unlike superficial qualities that fade or lose their appeal over time, confidence is a lasting trait that becomes more potent as it grows. It's not about arrogance or showing off. It's about having a deep, unwavering belief in yourself that others can sense and feel. Confidence speaks a universal language that transcends words. It's communicated through body language, tone, and presence. It's the quiet strength of knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you bring to the table. People are naturally drawn to those who are sure of themselves. When someone is confident, they exude a calm, grounded energy that puts others at ease. They don't need to seek validation or approval from anyone because they already know their worth. This self-assuredness is rare, and because it's rare, it stands out. Confidence has a way of making people take notice, whether they realize it or not. It's not just about how you look or what you say. It's about how you carry yourself. The way you walk into a room, the way you hold your head high, and the way you make eye contact all send a powerful message. You are comfortable in your own skin. When you are confident, you don't need to chase anyone's attention because your presence naturally commands it. People want to be around those who inspire them, who make them feel uplifted, and who challenge them to rise to a higher standard. Confidence is contagious. When you believe in yourself, it encourages others to believe in you too. It creates an atmosphere of possibility and optimism that is hard to resist. People begin to see you not just for who you are, but for what you represent. Strength, resilience, and self-respect. Confidence also sets the tone for how others treat you. The way you view yourself teaches others how to view you. If you carry yourself with dignity and self-assurance, people are more likely to respect you. They'll notice how you don't settle for less than you deserve, and this makes you even more intriguing. Confidence creates boundaries without needing to state them outright. It's an unspoken declaration that says, I know my value and I won't compromise it for anyone. Oh, One of the most powerful aspects of confidence is that it doesn't rely on external factors. True confidence comes from within. It's not about having the best clothes, the fanciest car, or the most impressive achievements. Those things can complement confidence, but they can't create it. Real confidence is rooted in knowing your strengths, accepting your flaws, and understanding that you are enough, just as you are. This inner belief is unshakable, no matter the circumstances. Even when faced with setbacks or criticism, a confident person remains steady because their sense of self-worth isn't tied to external validation. Confidence is also magnetic because it signals independence. When you're confident, you don't rely on others to define your happiness or success. You have your own goals, your own passions, and your own sense of purpose. This independence is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're not looking for someone to complete you, you're already complete. You're not desperate for attention or approval, which makes your attention feel even more valuable when you choose to give it. People are drawn to those who don't need them, but choose them. And confidence is what creates that dynamic. Another reason confidence is so appealing is that it creates a sense of mystery. A confident person doesn't feel the need to overshare or prove themselves. They let their actions speak louder than their words. This restraint leaves people wanting to know more. They begin to wonder what's behind that self-assured smile or that calm demeanor. Confidence creates an air of intrigue because it suggests depth, a quality that is both rare and captivating. Confidence also has a way of amplifying other qualities. When you're confident, your strengths shine even brighter. Your humor becomes more charming, your intelligence more compelling, and your kindness more genuine. Confidence acts as a lens that magnifies the best parts of you, making them impossible to ignore. Even your flaws can become endearing when they're embraced with confidence. It's not about pretending to be perfect. It's about owning who you are, imperfections and all. People who lack confidence often look for others to fill the gaps in their self-esteem. This creates a dynamic where they're constantly seeking, chasing, or clinging to relationships for a sense of worth. But when you're confident, you flip that dynamic. You become the one who is sought after, the one who others want to impress. Confidence shifts the power balance in your favor because it's rooted in abundance, not lack. You don't approach relationships from a place of neediness, but from a place of choice. And that choice makes you all the more desirable. Confidence also allows you to be authentic. When you're secure in yourself, you don't feel the need to wear a mask or pretend to be someone you're not. You're able to show up as your true self. And this authenticity is incredibly attractive. People are drawn to those who are real, who are unapologetically themselves, and who don't feel the need to conform to anyone else's expectations. Confidence gives you the freedom to be exactly who you are. And that freedom is a magnet for genuine connection. When someone encounters a confident person, they're often left wondering what makes them so self-assured. This curiosity lingers long after the interaction is over. Confidence leaves an imprint because it's not something that can be easily imitated or replicated. It's a quality that comes from within. And when it's genuine, it's impossible to ignore. One of the most effective ways to captivate someone's thoughts and emotions is by maintaining an element of mystery in your behavior and actions. Mystery is a powerful psychological force. It stimulates curiosity, creates intrigue, and keeps people constantly thinking about you. The human mind is wired to seek answers, to fill in gaps, and to understand the unknown. When you embrace an air of mystery, you create a space where their imagination begins to work overtime, trying to decipher what makes you unique, what you're thinking, and what you'll do next. Mystery isn't about playing games or being dishonest. It's about withholding just enough information to leave someone wanting more. It's about not revealing everything about yourself at once, allowing your layers to be discovered over time. When you're mysterious, you control the narrative of your life. Instead of being predictable or overly transparent, you let your actions speak louder than your words. You don't feel the need to explain every detail or justify every decision. This creates a sense of depth and intrigue, making others feel like there's always more to learn about you. People are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. When everything about you is clear and easily accessible, the intrigue fades. Predictability can lead to complacency, and complacency can dull even the strongest connections. By maintaining an air of mystery, you keep things fresh, exciting, and engaging. You become someone who stands out in a world where oversharing and constant availability have become the norm. The less you reveal, the more others are drawn to uncover the parts of you that are hidden. Mystery also allows you to maintain control over your emotional and mental space. When you don't share every thought, feeling, or experience, you create a boundary that protects your energy. This boundary isn't about being distant or cold. It's about valuing yourself enough to be selective about who gets access to the deeper parts of you. By doing this, you elevate your worth in the eyes of others. They begin to see you as someone who values privacy and self-respect, which makes you even more appealing. When you're mysterious, people are compelled to fill in the blanks. They start imagining what you might be thinking or feeling, often projecting their own desires, fears, or fantasies onto you. This psychological engagement creates a powerful connection because it involves their imagination and emotions. They become invested in trying to understand you, which deepens their interest and attachment. The more they think about you, the more space you occupy in their mind, creating a lasting impression that's hard to shake. Mystery also allows you to create a sense of anticipation. When you don't reveal your next move or your true intentions, people are left guessing. This anticipation can be incredibly exciting because it keeps them on their toes. They don't know what to expect from you. And this unpredictability makes every interaction feel new and engaging. It's the element of surprise that keeps relationships dynamic and prevents them from becoming stagnant. When someone never quite knows what's coming next, they're more likely to stay intrigued and invested. Another benefit of mystery is that it creates a sense of exclusivity. When you don't open up to everyone or share your thoughts and feelings freely, the people who do get a glimpse of your inner world feel special. They feel like they've earned the privilege of knowing you on a deeper level, which makes the connection feel more meaningful. This exclusivity creates a sense of value around your presence and your time, making others appreciate you even more. Mystery isn't about being secretive or withholding affection. It's about being intentional with what you share and how you present yourself. It's about recognizing that you don't need to lay all your cards on the table to connect with someone. Instead, you allow your actions, your presence, and your energy to speak for you. This creates an aura of confidence and independence that is both rare and irresistible. When you're mysterious, you also give others the opportunity to chase you. People are naturally drawn to challenges. And when you're not an open book, you become a puzzle they want to solve. This dynamic shifts the power balance in your favor. Instead of you seeking their attention or approval, they begin to seek yours. The more they invest their time and energy into trying to understand you, the more attached they become. Mystery also allows you to maintain your independence. When you don't reveal everything about yourself, you keep a part of yourself reserved just for you. This creates a sense of self-containment and self-sufficiency that others find deeply attractive. It shows that you're not reliant on anyone else for validation or identity. You have your own world, your own thoughts, and your own passions. And this independence makes you incredibly magnetic. By being mysterious, you also avoid falling into the trap of oversharing, which can sometimes dilute the connection. When you reveal too much too soon, you risk overwhelming the other person or diminishing the intrigue they feel. Mystery allows you to pace the relationship, unveiling yourself slowly over time. This gradual process creates a deeper and more sustainable connection because it builds anticipation and keeps the other person engaged. Being mysterious doesn't mean being unapproachable or distant. It means being intentional and thoughtful about how you present yourself. It's about recognizing the power of the unknown and using it to your advantage. When you're mysterious, you create a sense of depth and complexity that others find irresistible. You become someone who stands out, someone who lingers in their thoughts long after the conversation has ended. Embracing emotional self-control is one of the most profound ways to make someone constantly think about you. It's not just about managing your feelings, it's about projecting a sense of calmness, strength, and resilience that becomes deeply attractive. People are naturally drawn to individuals who appear to have mastered their emotions because it signals maturity, stability, and confidence. Qualities that are rare and highly sought after. It's a clothing line. When you demonstrate emotional self-control, you create an aura of reliability and independence, which makes others not only admire you, but also feel compelled to seek your presence. In relationships, emotions can often become the driving force behind our actions, sometimes leading to impulsive decisions or unnecessary conflicts. When you exercise emotional self-control, you show that you're not governed by fleeting feelings or reactive behavior. Instead, you exhibit the ability to pause, reflect, and respond with intention. This level of composure is captivating because it creates a sense of security. Others begin to trust that you won't let temporary emotions dictate your actions. And this builds respect and admiration over time. Emotional self-control also allows you to maintain your dignity in challenging situations. When faced with rejection, misunderstandings, or disagreements, your ability to stay calm and composed speaks volumes about your inner strength. Instead of reacting defensively or emotionally, you choose to handle the situation with grace and thoughtfulness. This kind of response not only diffuses tension, but also leaves a lasting impression. People remember how you made them feel in moments of conflict, and your ability to remain composed sets you apart as someone who values harmony over chaos. Furthermore, emotional self-control isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about understanding your emotions, processing them, and choosing how to express them in a way that aligns with your values and goals. When you approach your emotions with this level of awareness, you become less likely to be influenced by external factors or other people's opinions. This independence of thought and emotion is incredibly powerful because it shows that you're not easily swayed or manipulated. Others begin to see you as someone who is grounded and self-assured, which makes you more appealing. In the context of romantic relationships, emotional self-control can be a game changer. When someone knows that they can't easily predict your emotional responses, it keeps them intrigued and invested. They start to wonder what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and why you're so unshakable. This sense of mystery, combined with your composure, creates a dynamic where they feel compelled to get closer to you, to understand you better. Your emotional stability becomes a magnet, drawing them in while also inspiring them to reflect on their own behavior. Another significant aspect of emotional self-control is its ability to create space for healthy communication. When you're not reacting impulsively or letting emotions take over, you're able to listen more attentively and respond more thoughtfully. This fosters a deeper connection because it shows that you're genuinely interested in understanding the other person rather than simply defending your own perspective. People feel valued and respected when they're heard, and this kind of interaction strengthens the bond between you. Emotional self-control also helps you maintain your boundaries, which is essential in any relationship. When you're in control of your emotions, you're less likely to tolerate behavior that disrespects your values or compromises your well-being. This ability to stand firm in your boundaries without being overly aggressive or defensive sends a powerful message about your self-worth. It shows that you value yourself enough to demand respect, and this makes others value you even more. In addition, emotional self-control can be a powerful tool for creating moments of reflection in others. When you don't react emotionally to a situation, it forces the other person to consider their own actions and behavior. They begin to question why you're so composed, why you're not engaging in the usual patterns of emotional conflict. This pause creates an opportunity for them to see you in a new light, to recognize your strength and maturity. It also gives them a chance to reflect on their own emotional responses, which can lead to growth and deeper understanding in the relationship. Your emotional self-control can also make others feel safe in your presence. When you're not prone to emotional outbursts or unpredictable behavior, you create an environment where people feel they can be themselves without fear of judgment or criticism. This sense of safety is incredibly valuable because it allows for vulnerability and authenticity. People are drawn to those who make them feel comfortable and accepted. And your emotional stability fosters that kind of connection. Moreover, emotional self-control enhances your ability to focus on what truly matters. Instead of getting caught up in petty arguments or temporary frustrations, you're able to keep your attention on your goals and values. This focus not only helps you grow as an individual, but also sets an example for others. People are inspired by those who can rise above the noise and stay committed to their vision. Your ability to prioritize what's important sends a powerful message about your character and your determination. Finally, emotional self-control allows you to radiate confidence. When you're in control of your emotions, you're not easily shaken by external circumstances or other people's opinions. This inner strength gives you a sense of self-assurance that others can't help but notice. Confidence is magnetic, and when it's paired with emotional stability, it creates an irresistible combination. You become someone who is not only attractive, but also deeply respected and admired. Creating a sense of unpredictability in your interactions can significantly heighten the intrigue and emotional attachment someone feels toward you. Humans are naturally wired to seek patterns, predict outcomes, and feel comfortable with the familiar. However, when someone becomes unpredictable in a way that is exciting rather than erratic, it creates a compelling dynamic that keeps the other person guessing, interested, and invested. This kind of unpredictability isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about introducing an element of surprise that stimulates curiosity and emotional engagement. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate this unpredictability is through your communication style. For example, instead of being overly available or responding in predictable patterns, you could vary the timing, tone, or depth of your responses. Sometimes you might engage in long, meaningful conversations, sharing insights and ideas. Other times you might keep it light, fun, and even playful. This kind of variation creates a sense of excitement because the other person doesn't know what to expect next. They start to anticipate and look forward to your interactions, wondering what version of you they'll encounter today. This anticipation becomes a driving force behind their interest and desire to connect with you. Unpredictability can also be cultivated through your actions. Doing something unexpected or out of the ordinary leaves a lasting impression because it disrupts the usual flow of interaction. For instance, you might surprise someone with a thoughtful gesture that shows you've been paying attention to their likes, interests, or needs. Alternatively, you might suddenly take a step back, giving them space to miss your presence and realize your value. Both approaches introduce an element of the unknown that keeps them emotionally engaged. It's this sense of novelty and unpredictability that creates excitement and fosters a deeper emotional connection. Another way to incorporate unpredictability is by maintaining a sense of mystery about yourself. When you don't reveal everything about your thoughts, plans, or feelings up front, you leave room for the other person to wonder and imagine. This mystery doesn't mean being secretive or evasive. Rather, it's about sharing selectively and strategically. By doing so, you create a sense of depth that draws people in. They become curious about what lies beneath the surface, what drives you, and what makes you tick. This curiosity becomes an ongoing source of fascination that keeps you on their mind. Unpredictability also involves breaking away from routine or monotony. When relationships or interactions fall into repetitive patterns, they can lose their vibrancy and excitement. Introducing spontaneity, whether it's through planning an unanticipated outing, trying something new together, or simply changing the way you usually do things, injects fresh energy into the dynamic. It keeps things interesting and reminds the other person that being around you is never dull or predictable. This constant renewal of excitement strengthens the bond and leaves them wanting more. A key aspect of unpredictability is balancing it with consistency. While it's important to keep things fresh and exciting, it's equally essential to provide a foundation of stability and reliability. Without this balance, unpredictability can come across as chaotic or unreliable, which may push people away rather than draw them in. By showing that you're emotionally grounded and dependable, even as you introduce surprises, you create an irresistible mix of excitement and security. This combination is rare and deeply appealing because it offers both stimulation and comfort. Your unpredictability can also extend to the way you express your emotions. Instead of being overly expressive or predictable in how you show affection, you might choose to be more subtle or indirect at times. This doesn't mean withholding your feelings, but rather finding creative ways to communicate them. Perhaps instead of saying, "I miss you," you send a small but meaningful reminder of shared memories or inside jokes. These subtle, unexpected gestures can carry more weight than direct expressions because they show thoughtfulness and creativity. They demonstrate that you're putting effort into the connection in a way that feels fresh and unique. Similarly, your goals and aspirations can play a role in creating unpredictability. When you're constantly striving for personal growth and pursuing new interests, you become someone who is always evolving and expanding. This evolution keeps others intrigued because they never quite know what new aspect of yourself you'll reveal next. Your ability to surprise them with your progress, achievements, or newfound passions makes you someone who is impossible to overlook or take for granted. And inspired by your drive, which keeps you at the forefront of their mind. Even your absence can be a form of unpredictability. Sometimes stepping back or creating a little distance can have a powerful impact on how someone perceives you. When you're not always available or accessible, it forces them to reflect on what your presence means in their life. They begin to notice the gap your absence creates and, in turn, develop a stronger appreciation for you. This kind of unpredictability isn't about playing hard to get, but about valuing your time and energy enough to know when to step forward and when to step back. This balance makes your presence feel more meaningful and impactful. Unpredictability also creates a sense of emotional depth. When someone can't fully predict your reactions or responses, they start to pay closer attention to your cues, your energy, and your actions. They become more attuned to your subtleties, trying to understand you on a deeper level. This heightened awareness fosters a sense of intimacy because your unpredictability in this sense challenges them to engage more fully, which strengthens the emotional connection. By keeping things unpredictable, you also set the stage for emotional highs and memorable moments. People are more likely to remember experiences that are unique or unexpected because they stand out from the norm. Whether it's an unplanned adventure, a surprising revelation, or a spontaneous act of kindness, these moments become etched in their memory. They associate you with excitement, positivity, and a sense of wonder, which makes them want to keep you in their life. These feelings create a lasting impression that ensures you're never far from their thoughts. Creating a sense of value in your absence is one of the most profound ways to leave someone thinking about you constantly. When you step back, it allows the other person to truly feel the weight of your absence and, in turn, appreciate your presence more deeply. It's not about manipulation or mind games. It's about setting boundaries, prioritizing your time and energy, and demonstrating self-respect in a way that naturally commands attention and admiration. The truth is, people often realize the value of something only when it's no longer readily available to them. By creating moments of absence, you allow space for them to reflect on what you bring into their life. To achieve this, you must first understand the importance of quality over quantity when it comes to interactions. Spending every waking moment with someone or constantly being available diminishes the novelty of your presence. Humans are wired to adapt quickly to what is predictable and routine. When you're always there, the other person can begin to take your presence for granted, not out of malice, but because of the natural tendency to become accustomed to familiarity. By stepping away at times, you create an emotional void that forces them to acknowledge your impact on their life. Your absence becomes even more powerful when it is purposeful. Instead of simply disappearing or being unavailable without reason, you can use that time to focus on your personal growth, passions, and goals. When you return, you are bringing more to the table. More experiences, more insights, and a stronger sense of self. This makes your presence more valuable because you're not just filling space, you're enriching it. People are drawn to those who are constantly evolving, and your ability to grow in your absence reinforces the idea that you are someone worth missing. During periods of absence, subtle reminders of your presence can have a profound effect. These could be the little things that evoke memories of you, a scent, a shared song, or an inside joke. These reminders create a ripple effect where the person begins to associate certain moments or objects with you. This association doesn't happen when you're constantly around because there's no space for the mind to connect these dots. By giving them the room to miss you, you allow those associations to take root and grow stronger. Equally important is how you communicate during your absence. It's not about cutting off all contact or being cold. Rather, it's about being selective and intentional with how you engage. A thoughtful message, a kind word, or a gesture that shows you care can have a much greater impact when it's unexpected. When you're not constantly available, even the smallest communication can feel significant. It carries more weight because it is no longer routine. This kind of intentionality creates anticipation and keeps you on their mind. The energy you project in your absence is just as crucial. If you disappear but leave behind a trail of negativity, such as unresolved conflict or hurt feelings, your absence may be felt, but not in a way that draws someone closer to you. On the other hand, if your presence is associated with positivity, encouragement, and warmth, your absence creates a longing for that energy. Here, people naturally gravitate toward what makes them feel good, and by ensuring that your interactions are uplifting, you leave a positive imprint that lingers long after you're gone. Maintaining an air of mystery can also amplify the impact of your absence. When you're not readily accessible or constantly updating someone on your every move, it sparks curiosity. They begin to wonder what you're doing, how you're feeling, and what you're thinking. This curiosity keeps you at the forefront of their mind because the unanswered questions create a sense of intrigue. It's not about being secretive or evasive. It's about allowing some parts of your life to remain private, inviting others to fill in the gaps with their imagination. In addition, how you re-enter the dynamic after a period of absence is crucial. When you return, bring a renewed sense of purpose and energy, whether it's through sharing new experiences, displaying newfound confidence, or simply carrying yourself with a sense of calm assurance. Your presence should feel fresh and exciting. This makes your return not just a continuation of the past, but a new chapter that reinforces your value and keeps the other person engaged. They begin to see your absence not as a loss, but as a time that added even more depth and richness to who you are. The concept of absence also ties into the idea of self-worth. When you value yourself enough to step away from situations that don't serve you or to create space for your growth, you send a powerful message about your priorities. This kind of self-respect is magnetic because it shows that you are not defined by others' attention or approval. Instead, you are someone who knows their worth and isn't afraid to enforce boundaries. This confidence and independence are qualities that people find deeply attractive and memorable. Finally, the power of absence lies in its ability to create contrast. Presence and absence are two sides of the same coin, and it's only by experiencing one that the other can truly be appreciated. When you're constantly present, the other person doesn't have the opportunity to reflect on your role in their life. Absence provides that contrast, allowing them to see clearly what they gain from your presence. This clarity often leads to a deeper appreciation and a stronger desire to keep you close, as they realize the unique value you bring into their life.